The woman snapped a hacksaw in half and hid the blades inside a package of ground beef. She froze it overnight in the freezer. The next day at work, she passed it to a friendly prison guard, who delivered the meat to an inmate named Mark. The guard opened the package in front of Mark, saw nothing but ground beef, and walked away without suspicion. Once the coast was clear, Mark thawed the beef with water and quickly pulled out the hidden hacksaw. This was the first step in his escape plan. Soon after, in the recreation yard, Mark discreetly handed a pack of matches to his partner. Later that day, when the lower cell block was crowded, his partner started a fire in the cell next to Mark's. The room was soon filled with thick smoke, leaving it badly scorched and in need of repainting, exactly what Mark had hoped for. Using this opportunity, he got his own cell marked for renovation. Then, Mark passed the saw to his accomplice David. David skillfully wrapped both ends of the blade in cloth and used nail clippers and rubber bands to create a new cutting tool. During the day, Mark stayed outside pretending to exercise, while David stayed in the cell cutting into the ventilation shaft. They even planned the cleanup in meticulous detail. Using magnets wrapped in craft paper, they collected the metal shavings and flushed them down the toilet. Taking turns, they worked together, and within just 2 weeks, they had completely cut through the metal grate covering the vent. At night, they used clothes to build fake bodies in their beds to avoid suspicion. Then they peeled off the tape from the vent and quietly climbed through. The vent was hidden behind a painting, making the room look perfectly normal. They split up to scout the path. David went deeper and farther than before. To his shock, he could actually see the prison's outer wall, but his way was blocked by a thick barrier. When he reported back, Mark reminded him there was a spare toolbox near the entry point. It might help. That night, David opened the toolbox and found exactly what he needed: a sledgehammer. From that night on, he spent every evening hammering at the wall. After a while, he reached the prison's outermost boundary, but the final wall was a solid 2-meter thick slab of reinforced concrete. At the pace they were going, it would take at least 5 years to break through. But at this stage, there was no turning back. Mark pushed him to keep going. David kept pounding the wall, his hands raw and blistered. After a full month, all he had was a hole the size of a handprint. Then, one night, he brought the hammer down hard and made an incredible discovery: a hidden passage that could get them out much faster.